a reason to pick QSE, but it's FURIA, and they don't really give you many reasons versus anyone. So that's just the way it is. But hopefully QSE can offer us something when we get into this map of Mirage, which is happening right about now.
Yes, very excited to kick this one off. Last day of this week, last match of South America for the week before we head into our, potentially penultimate week. Very, very exciting stuff here. And QSE, we've said it, they've got some phenomenal players. I want them to keep this at least a little bit close.
I'm very interested in a utility that we see here from QSE. To have two HEs in a pistol round makes me think that we've got some counter strats coming in. Oh, Gabs! She took one in the face and the second one finished her off. That is a hard counter for FURIA, which shows that QSE have done their work. And you have to when you're playing a team like FURIA. Very forward smoke, and Bazina will be dropped. Have a look at these frags coming in from QSE. FURIA get utterly smoked in this pistol. Damn, start as you mean to go on.
Oh, beautiful kickoff there. And as you said, right, the two HEs, beautiful little nade stack, pre-planned, works out perfectly. You've already whittled down any sort of defenses on the site, and it makes it so much easier for you to crack straight through. A perfect way to take this very first round of the first map and put themselves on a bit of a heater. But now they have to maintain that control. FURIA have opted to force into this round a slew of utility to kind of assist them in slowing QSE down. But what I like here is that QSE have kind of slowed themselves down a little bit, trying to get a feel for what FURIA have brought into this round before committing to anything.
FURIA will be one of the more dangerous teams on a force buy. Ooh. Ooh. Ah, there it is. That's a really nice bonus. Great trigger discipline from Anna. And Babs is holding the angle. Again, the small details here from QSE are really good. It's not just about the kill, but how they're covering. The spatial awareness is really, really good. Promising signs early. Again, FURIA are a team where it's very easy to capitulate against them when they've got a force buy. If you make a mistake, they will exploit you. So far, so good for QSE. Round's not over just yet, but I'm sure somebody will be covering Palace here as they clear out the B-bomb site. Plenty of numbers around A. Not too concerned about the rotation. They've got the numbers on A. They'll plant the bomb on A, and that's the kind of confidence you want to see. So, a promising start then. I'm not sure what FURIA can really do here. You don't want to go in there with a rifle. At most, maybe swinging with the Max 10. There we go, creating the space, and this could be awkward. Definitely don't chase after that frag. So FURIA may survive with two players. But so while we have a few seconds here, I think, it's been a while. Obviously, it's been over a year. It's been quite a while since Olga was on the team, but I still have very strong memories of FURIA, Olga era FURIA on Mirage, which was very much dominated by Olga on the server, I would say, in terms of how they played, how they set her up, charging down short round after round after round, and I still have very strong memories of that. So I think post Olga, I'm not surprised that there are some vetoing of Mirage here and there, because when your setup is so dominated by such a big personality, you kind of have to reinvent the wheel to some degree on this map. But if anybody's capable of doing that, it's going to be FURIA. So very interested to see what they can offer in this game of Mirage.
Mm-hmm. This feels like a QSE that's done their homework, man. They've prepped for this. They've read into FURIA. They've got such a good idea of where they're going to be so many of these rounds. They're looking so cleanly practiced. But this has been kept a lot closer than maybe it should have been.
See what FURIA choose to do. Gabs has a defuse kit. But the question is, do they want to risk losing these rifles? 2 AKs with a buy round to come is a consideration. And it seems they will err on the side of caution there. Lulitens can hang around and try to fish for something more with a 5.7, but these AKs will be held onto by FURIA, it seems. And again, when it comes to a duel and both people are aimed at the head, oh my god, that was such a snap by Lulitens. To get a Max 10 for her trouble. I mean, if you're playing ramp or something, maybe use that. Otherwise, we might see a rifle upgrade here. You want to start your buy round the right way. But again, a very solid start from QSC. And if they have plans and counter strats for these pistols, they could have a significant part to play in them being a threat to win this series. We'll see how those continue. But again, the attention to detail, taking nothing for granted. We've seen some teams be quite sloppy in different regions and so on, but QSC are being very efficient, as they need to be for FURIA. They are delivering so far, but indeed, here is that first buy round. Car will be straight on the AWP, as will Cammy. That MAC-10 won't be held on to. Doesn't really make sense, as mentioned previously. No one playing ramp for FURIA at present as they focus on that mid position. We have early control here from QSC, but will there be a resurgence from FURIA? As you see the push through smoke, in connector is swinging as well. You have to do that together as a CT side. Otherwise, you will be dismantled. Holding it down. Now, look at that instant trade as well. And this is one thing that you have to be really afraid of. And again, FURIA, always going to be one of the best teams in the region. And that's a very early example as to why. They let you get into a false sense of security. Oh, nice switch from Cammy. 16 HP. We've seen clutches from her before. If she's got 1 HP or more, then she will be a threat. Plenty of time to try and solve this problem. 3 rounds in the magazine. Just a good idea as to where Car might be, but the timing is good for Car, and FURIA survive with 3.
That was a rough one. It felt like FURIA. So I was saying about how it felt like QSE had really read into a lot of FURIA, where their positionings are, where they're, holding very often and really using that against them. But this round, they come in with a full belt of utility, guns in hand, and they just go, right, we're taking the fight to them. We're not allowing them to get into any of our blind spots. They rush, maybe not rush, but they overthrow mid, take all of that presence away, and then QSE just have no kind of recourse at that point. They didn't really have a plan B for that round.
They're going for a really big swing. Nothing doing, no rifles on the rest, running low on util. But how do they solve this problem? There's a crossfire for FURIA on that A bomb site. However, Bazina's been dropped, and that's going to force more rotation towards A, but the bomb's been lost. Outside of the bomb placement, they had an opportunity maybe to swing towards short, as Anna will try to do, but they've got to rescue that bomb now, and maybe that will seal their fate. 4 players standing for FURIA at the moment, as QSC's economy has completely disappeared. And there's so much, even in these early rounds, there's so much for me to say. I could talk for 10 minutes, but I need to let you speak as well. But I do want to say quickly that the CT retake in mid is such a powerful tool, and you see it put to very good use in many of these rounds. And the impact, no pun intended, that retake has just allowed FURIA to take control of this game after losing a pistol very, very early indeed. QSC's economy has been put in the bin. They can't really spend any money in this round. Bearing in mind they won the pistol and a consecutive, you may start to wonder, versus a team like FURIA, how many more rounds do they have in them in this half?
Oh, that was a chunky HE. And I think the other thing, I mean, that previous round, so obviously they go into that with weaponry, very limited utility, but the lack of utility really does come to bite them. And you have to adjust how you're approaching the round when you know that you don't have that util. So when they eventually do start trying to execute towards the site, by that point, all they've got is a couple of flashes, and they're running into connector with no smoke, no cover, and they're essentially just getting, clay pigeon shot at from the site. So it's little things like that. I would have wanted to see them kind of speed up a little bit more. Obviously, that previous round, bit of a throwaway. Now they're back with a half belt of utility, I suppose. Very few smokes, though. There's 3 here, so they're going to have to save all of those for high impact.
Oh, the timing for Gabs is brutal. And they've got the personnel here. There are 3 players on ramp, so that's an absolute send into the A bomb site. We've got a lurker in Babs, who is eliminated by Car. And now the retake, there is potential here. We've got the HE, which could, if it goes in the right place, cause some problems. There'll be a smoke break, though, to give Car some vision. Some tag through triple. Nothing doing there. Bazina's very low indeed, so she'll pick up the AWP. We'll see what she's able to do then. FURIA have been able to double AWP in the past. So we'll see how good Bazina is with it. Cammy running distraction now as the flashes come through. Bazina will be able to... so Lunated's actually dropping late. leaving Cammy and Josie in the 2 versus 2. But Cammy's running really low. She's still somehow alive, entertaining these players. That leaves Josie now the 1v1. She can play bomb, falling around the corner. And I think it might be too late for Car, who's going for hero defuse. Oh, hold on a second. Josie's got all the wrong angles. Oh, wow. Big round secured by FURIA, and the AWP is collected at the end.
Car gets 3 in that round on top of everything else. Like, that was the most ridiculous round imaginable for her to just straight up win. And QSE played that really well. They did. They held on to a bit of that utility till right towards the end. They throw up a smoke to shut down sightlines. They buy so much of that time, but somehow FURIA, with still an extra smoke remaining, can smoke off bomb, and Car, after getting 2 kills, can ninja defuse and get the 3rd right off the back of that. And that's the thing that I was talking about with Car. She is so entertaining to watch. She's super aggressive. She has no fear. That confidence is something that carries FURIA to insane heights.
B-bomb site is a great battleground for a Tech 9 play. They've got the util for it as well, and I believe that QSE will be one of these teams who may have a plan, but there's a few people, some stragglers making their way into the B-bomb site. Bomb's been lost and they don't have much to show for it. Cammy makes her way in, but I think the task is already too difficult for her. Now leaves Anna to try and do some damage. She's got some sound cues here from Bazina, who is jiggling though. That won't be an easy problem to solve. Trying to swing, nothing doing. Not enough damage there for QSE. On paper, there was potential, but they are playing against FURIA. And again, the stragglers, I think they were a little too separated in that push. You need the numbers to swarm and pick up the rifles, but they weren't quite able to do that there.
Lilitens is such a good choice for B anchor, because obviously you're generally going to kind of weak side B. You might add some more firepower to it in a couple of rounds, depending on what you're expecting the opponents to do. But generally speaking, that's going to be weak side. It's not a weak side if Lilitens is there. It's a pretty strong side. And yes, obviously that was an anti-eco, so you can't read terribly too much into that round in particular. But just speaking about Lilitens in general, right? She is such a strong player. She's got very high mechanical skill. She was a relatively new piece to the FURIA puzzle as well. You know, we've kind of spoken about her quite a bit over the last couple of seasons and how much she's brought to the team since she's joined up. So really exciting to watch her get those opportunities to pop off. Hopefully we'll see a little bit more of it here, depending on if QSE decide to keep trying their luck towards B. But for now, it looks like we're gonna posture A again. Let's see if they can find some better results.
Bomb is on ramp. You can see 3 players on ramp. Means they're going for an A split here. Now, FURIA have got a lot of utility in the bank, which may ruin the timing for QSE. Now, are they trying to bait a retake of that mid position and push A while the CTs are in the wrong place? You can see there it is. There's that play. Now they need to... Oh, Car's got great angles on ramp. So you can see what they might have been trying to do there, countering that swing from FURIA, but still no frags here in this round for QSE. 3 remaining for them as they'll drop Lilitens and Isa, but look at that kill feed. Bizina and Car lighting them up to get their 6th round on the board.
Oh, man. This is, I mean, that's just cyberbullying at this point. Car gets that first kill, gets the jump up, spots out more, manages to hide away. Bazina is holding on towards stairs. She gets spotted and tagged up, but she's able to dodge most of that flash by using the stairs as cover. 2 players swing on her, and she's still able to get a beautiful transfer. And before the 3rd player can swing out of Palace and take her down, Car's holding for it. It's like watching a symphony. It's beautiful from FURIA.
Difficult half for QSE. Don't think the score tells the whole story considering that pistol. And again, it shows you how important that pistol round was for QSE to get some showing on the scoreboard, but they will need more than that going up against FURIA. There are no flashes, which means someone's going to have to just wide swing, make space for that AK-47. Can cut noise, and that may force FURIA to put 2 CTs on each bomb site. Focus on mid, though, and some quick rotations. Oh, the timing! Bazina gets there anyway. Dodges that Tech 9. Very nervous stuff. Now Lulitens is the only one on that B bomb site. Being really careful. She needs to stay alive for that rotation. Playing for information. She has delayed enough. Suddenly there are 3 FURIA players here. That is really nicely done. Here's a drop though. 20 seconds and the dream may be collapsing in this round for FURIA as Car finds herself alone. She can't risk going in there 1v3 with the AWP and giving them an AWP for free. So somehow QSC have squeezed an eco round out in this scenario. Every round will be very, very crucial. You can see how difficult they are to glean from FURIA. That's a big win for them. There's so much money, though, for FURIA. The economic impact won't be so big for the time being.
Yeah, unfortunately, so many of those rounds, as much as QSC have done some damage here and there, for the most part, FURIA have come out with most of their players still left alive, hanging on to the majority of their guns. So there's really no concern here for them. QSC, this was a great round from them, purely because they stabilized in a way that we haven't really seen from them so far, you know, in this first half. They lose those first couple of players, and yes, it's a pistol round. You could get a little bit, you know, a little bit crazy and decide, okay, well, this round's basically over. But they do actually maintain a lot of that discipline. They pick up a rifle for Babs. She's able to crack open that B site, and another exceptional player, 3 kills for her. Bomb planted, and what on earth is there to do after that? So good recovery, and this makes it a lot more contestable. Another round here, and we're looking at a potentially close game.
Molly for the back boxes. Lay trying to get some more impact now, catching up with these frags. I think she was 0 for 5 at the beginning of this game. Certainly not too late to have some impact, though. Big rotation from FURIA. With Car on that short position as well. They've got very good angles to FURIA. They're so low, though, FURIA, in the HP here. Lulitens and Car now. That's going to force Car close. And this is going to be suddenly very difficult for FURIA because QSC have a good idea as to where they are. But despite that, Lulitens is causing all kinds of problems. Car through with the pistol. Won't be able to get anything done. That's going to keep them spending, but they might have... I think they've more or less got enough good enough money. Oh, they're fine. They're absolutely fine. This is me trying to do maths on stream. Never do that.
Never,
If you've got any advice for any casters, don't do maths on stream. Right, last round of the half then, and QSC have caught up, which is huge for them because it was looking very oppressive.
The amount of like just dry walking, dry swinging is kind of outrageous. Like, so Leia does it, she gets a kill. Cool, fair enough. Kami tries to cross connector without any cover and just gets AWP'd from the other side of the map. Like, it's a bit odd from QAC. I'd like to see them tighten that up a bit.
That's surely going to pull rotation. Gabs could get punished here, but she's got rifle support as well. This is quite the flashpoint on this A ramp position. In the meantime, and it's going to drop Izza. And now they're really committed. Do they, I was going to say, do FURIA force their way forward towards ramp? Look at the patience here from QSC, punishing Gabs. I don't know if the bomb comes up on the radar there or if she saw it earlier on, depending on who she was facing. But I don't know that QSC want to rotate. They've got 4 players around this A bomb site. And the rotation is a complete unknown. Waiting for Anna, as Bazina and Car are the last 2 standing. Now, that's half the information for QSC, so they could get their skates on here. But Bazina has quickly rotated over towards A. There's Lei showing in Palace. Now, there are plenty of flashes here. Can they find an angle for Flash Car? I think she's standing on a box-in connector, dropping Lei as the 3 rotate through from that ramp position now. scary to watch. Bizina in the clutch now. 1 versus 3. Quickly made 2. But there are too many women on road for QSC who tie the score at halftime. We've got a game on our hands here.
Once we start, you know we're never gonna stop. We're winning every time. We own it. Pushing every day and night. We own it. We don't do compromise. Yeah, yeah. We touch down every time. Every time.
A really good start for Quem Sao Elas. Started to slip through their fingers, but at the final hurdles, they do manage to get a spur of speed and dexterity and bring us to a 6-6 half.
Yeah, really promising stuff. Now FURIA will go sending it straight into a safety in numbers. Jesse's got a great angle though with the Julie's disappearing into the smoke. She could really cause some havoc here. Look how far she's clicking. Absolutely rattling off the shots, and FURIA could lose both pistols. Luna10 finds herself in a 1 versus 5. It does not last long. Holy potatoes, that was lightning fast. QSC taking both pistols, I think they understand how important that is for them, but wow, what a performance. That was so fast.
I mean, I love those fast rounds. I'm a big fan of the dualies. I do love when we see that get ridiculous amounts of value. So, you know, well done. And as you said, right, QSC realizing how important pistol rounds are, but it takes more than just the pistol. Denying FURIA the plant entirely will certainly give them a leg up, though, because it means that, well, there is no money. So getting a second round here becomes so much more doable.
Things just became very interesting indeed. That's great stuff for QSE. And again, just coming into this season, their team name doesn't carry the name value, the brand value that you have of other teams. So as a viewer, you may underestimate them. But again, when I was asked for my prediction earlier, I was I feel like this particular team is one of the squads which has potential, but it's hard to gauge so far, like where their glass ceiling might be. We need more of a sample size. So, and again, they're playing against FURIA versus another team. Perhaps I might have picked them, but I know it's very clear that they're working hard. You can see that with the detail we've seen so far on the server. But anyway, FURIA will have their first buy, an early one. Minute 40 on the clock, and there are 2 flashes for the squad, and you can see that they've got the numbers towards that B bomb site. I know it's dropping a very aggressive smoke. Look at the pre-fire with the MP9 as well. Running out of bullets for a second kill there. Babs may have to try and play retake, but she was at the point of no return. Can be posted up now. But there are problems here early for QSE. Ever dangerous FURIA, and that's got to be the end of the round there. You've got to call it at that point, I think. Although they are very close indeed. They will continue walking into a crossfire. Oh my words. This is really nice work from QSE. This would be a huge pickup for them. But Lay's just stuck on the reload and it's absolutely free for Car. A noble effort, but it will be FURIA winning that early AK round here on Mirage.
Unfortunately, Onyx needed to get more. She needed to get a second kill there. And I think that if she did that, then, things start to look a lot different. And the problem is she kind of does run out of bullets a little bit. She's kind of aiming down at one player who jumps out. She gets the second. She does so much damage onto a third. But unfortunately, you have to go for the reload. She gets taken down. And at that point, FURIA basically have control of the site. There hasn't been enough time. They really kind of hit W hard. So there wasn't as much time for QSE to get into a retake position. And then Kami gets a little bit over eager. And I get it. There's a sense of panic. FURIA already on the site. They're going to start planting. Something needs to happen. But she pushes through a smoke with no real backup from the rest of her team. Maybe it was a communication issue. I'm not sure, but she put herself in a very, very dangerous position. And of course, she instantly gets killed. Don't worry about it. Nobody saw. Come on, production, bro. Don't do him like that.
We've all done it, especially me.
Same.
This is a key round for QSE then, because their progress will be very slow if they lose this round. New and improved FAMAS is on deck. Look at these chain flashes though from FURIA. CTs are blind as FURIA break ground on the bomb site. They will be trades, but they've got so many numbers here versus Lay. Again, she needs to try and stay alive as these rotations come through, but she's unable to win that duel versus Bizina. At a good angle, but perhaps the FAMAS for her was not the one. Now, we've got a few players low. One of them is just dropped by the shrapnel. That leaves us in a 3-on-3. Luluten's has got a very strong angle, though. Could potentially find 2 here. Difficult to deal with this. Have a look at that. Great timing. Anna coming out of nowhere. That leaves Gabs and Car versus Babs and Anna. There's a flash for the CTs. I don't see a kit. And the Gabs has got 31 HP now. Anna's in the smoke. Oh, she comes through, but Gabs is able to see her first. That was a very difficult rotation. Out of the smoke, not knowing where the right angle is, down to the wire. That was an important round for QSE to win, but it's FURIA who edged them this time.
It's kind of surprising that she's not sure where Gabs was, because Gabs had just gotten the kill onto Car. So again, I don't know, maybe it's a communication issue, but it should have been known that she was coming out of Palace. And unfortunately, looking in just the wrong direction, gets taken out there. QSA really feels like they're struggling in the discipline department.
Love the aggression from QSC. However, FURIA are well positioned to take advantage of the numbers in mid, charging straight into the B bomb site. Look at that strafing from Bazina. Anna just could not keep up with her crosshair. That completely outmaneuvers the CTs now. What remains of them? Josie will certainly want to hold on to this AK-47. Going to be a difficult road. Yeah, I mean, honestly, if QSE are, FURIA are a favorite, and I'm not expecting QSE to lose necessarily. What they're showing us is great, but some of these thin margins by which they've lost rounds, like if they are to lose that, they're going to think about that for a long time, I think. But they have taken FURIA to the wire in those rounds, which is an achievement in itself. But hey, there's more Counter-Strike to be played, but they don't have much money at the moment. We've seen great things from Cammy with a scout. I don't think we're going to see a repeat of that, though. That would be a miracle, especially on Mirage.
Yeah, Cammy's having a bit of a rough one, and it's what I'd mentioned a bit earlier, right? She can be a little bit inconsistent. And again, I think that this isn't even just a pure inconsistency thing. I think that this is also, you're playing against FURIA. You're going to struggle to get the same phenomenal results that you've had against some of the, I don't want to say lower caliber, but let's face it, lower caliber teams. FURIA is just not that team. They're not going to give you that space. You have to step up, and she's not been given the opportunity to do that.
In an ideal world from QSE, for QSE, Cammy needs to either, the AK's lost immediately. The ideal world has disappeared. What I was going to say was, you could really be a nuisance with a scout in a round such as this, where you're tagging players and they haven't quite, they haven't quite fragged the pistoleros, and then they can clean up later on. Cammy's over towards CT on A, being offered nothing just yet. The smokes will go. Izina has the sound cues. She's got the fun role in this round, running around with a Mac 10 versus ecoing people with USPs. It's a wonderful life.
Already up to 3 kills because she just takes all the space in the world in mid. E goes on X. They've allowed had a momentary lapse of judgment there. Yes, bomb does get planted, obviously. Bit of a rough one. Surely they hunt this just for the memes, for the ace, just for...
That's so unlucky where the AK landed. That was so unlucky. Oh, this would be a big pickup if she could grab it.
Oh.
Car strafing for dear life, man. CS2 strafing. You cannot stand still.
That's unfortunate. 2-round deficit. FURIA up to double digits. I don't know how QSE come back into this. It's feeling like FURIA are, constantly in control of the map, constantly in control of all of these fights. I think that's another thing that I noticed as well. This was something I noticed very early on in the first half, was that even when they're kind of overrun and getting outdone, they're still outgunning.
Big Jules. Oh, okay. FURIA making plays towards B, getting dropped, however. It's being shut down, and the molly will slow them down. And then there were 3 for both squads. But with all that action towards B, does Lei take an aggressive position on that A bomb site? In that shadow area, but okay, a Palace play would be so solid here. Wonderful stuff. That's exactly... Oh, look how they smoked behind her as well. False sense of security potentially for FURIA. And Cammy will post up on B with the AWP. So mid will be an unknown. We'll see what Anna chooses to do. This would be a huge frag. Oh, wonderful stuff. Great response from QSC. They understood the mission. There's more work to be done, though. Now, Anna's very close to A. So if they get past Cammy one way or another here, that will be a longer rotation. And the question is, does Cammy hold position? If she frags one and one goes past, does she hold position and wait for rotation, wait for that retake? There are the flashes. She's forced off the angle, so there will be 2 alive. Game on for FURIA. Util is here as well. Plenty of diffuse kits for QSC. That's most of the irrelevant Util gone for FURIA. Gabs drops early. And now Lula Tens is going to take one in the face from Cammy. Good patience. All that's important at this point for QSC is winning the round. They move to 9.
Oof. And that got dangerously close. That kerfuffle in mid, I had some concerns about what the heck was going to happen there. Josie taking such an aggressive position in the smoke, gets caught out. You got these two players that are like bumping into one another. Neither of them can see each other as the smoke clears. Josie comes out worse for wear. And at that point, I'm like, I think that QSE have bottled this. You know, they had a good idea. Execution didn't go their way and FURIA snapped back. But another one of those rounds where QSE do a great job of restabilizing, regaining control of the round, and ultimately turning that into a win. Another win here would decimate FURIA's economy, even out the scoreline, and suddenly we're back into competitive territory.
Wonderful work from QSE thus far. A must-win round for them. Round 20. Good pacing from FURIA. Heading towards the minute mark as the smoke comes in towards window. Now, Cammy falling back from short will be heard by these Ts in the underpass. We'll see what they choose to do with that information. We've got Carl lurking with the AWP, carrying the bomb also in the apartments. Very forward positions here for QSE on the ramp as FURIA are heading into connector. Lay keeping an eye on CT if jungle is compromised. Anna's heading towards short, but with the FAMAS, she will not be at a very good advantage. Izza drops Babs. Josie on the ramp will spot one in Palace. They haven't seen the bomb just yet. They have no idea where the bomb is going, but there are T's all over the shop here. Josie's doing a great job holding down the safe bomb site. And now Car finds herself creeping on that ramp, but there's only 17 seconds to get this bomb planted. And Laters in CT, she will either win this round or fall before it gets planted. And that's the trade there, leaving Cammy in a 1 versus 2. 7 seconds for the bomb to get planted. That was a good pre-fire. I think she was very unlucky. Maybe shaved the shoulder, but that was the must-win round, not won by QSE.
That's devastating because Josie does so much. Getting that first player in Palace, getting the second on the site as well before she eventually dies. You start pulling in those rotations. I would really love to see QSE going for more like lurks, more kind of flank plays to get in behind FURIA, because FURIA very much like to commit to something. Okay, that round they had bomb kind of posturing B and then moving over, but very often they have like a hard committal towards a particular direction. If you had Lei, for example, at this point, flanking all the way around, you could potentially take FURIA entirely off guard. Now, obviously, this isn't the round to do it, but, you know, just as a for instance, in future rounds, unfortunately, I don't know how many future rounds they have.
What happens to that Molly? Into the black hole. That was a weird one. I have to look at a replay of that. Might be something to send to the developers because I don't know what just happened there. Surely wasn't close enough to that smoke. Oh, Josie with the Desert Eagle has found 2. And look at the numbers for QSE. Oh, we might see a miracle here. Josie has found 3 for 3. Bazina is in such trouble here as well. Josie still standing, looking for Car. Oh, this is terrifying for FURIA. Car now is the only one remaining. Doesn't want to give them that AWP. 44 seconds to play hide and seek. What has Josie just done for QSE? Look, she knows they're going to come after her. They've got nothing to lose, so it's the AWP disposal service. And she's got 2450. She really doesn't want that AWP getting into the hands of Cammy. Chasing now with a Glock as she tries to stop them taking too many rifles into that next round. Wow. What has just happened to FURIA? Josie with the Desert Eagle before FURIA have a chance to drop the numbers of QSE. 3 AKs taken into this round.
I love that, as I say, I don't know how many more rounds QSE are going to have. Josie just goes right ahead and gets a Deagle 3K. Just, I mean, and they're beautiful shots as well. They connect perfectly. And Kami, of course, follows up with a little bit more of her own. And now we have a stay of execution. We have a situation where FURIA finally money starting to look really tight and gonna struggle to get a full and robust buy into this next round. And suddenly QSE look like they could regain control, regain a lead, maybe even push this. I can see this map going into overtime, which is not a position I thought we were going to be in when we came into this map. When, you know, FURIA started getting that runaway from round 4, they started raking in all of those rounds, 6 in a row, and I thought, oh man, this could be the end. And yet here we are, potentially on the precipice of overtime.
They have earned their way to this scenario. Quem Sao Elas. Wonderful work. You mentioned individuals, and Josie really delivered for her team there. See Cammy covering Josie's back. Good range to duel Lulitens here. Oh, but the Tech 9 is so dangerous. Look at the spam. Suddenly, in seconds, we're in a 1 versus 2, a Glock versus rifles. I'm not sure if there's anything for Izza to collect. Manages to dodge the HE. Oh, boy. Business just picked up. Bomb plants all but guaranteed now. There's an incendiary, but that would be a stretch to try and reach that, I think. Don't want to show too much and give it away for free. There is no Kevlar for Izza. She needs headshots. She needs precision. She needs speed. And there is the first one. Cammy is dropped, trying to find Bab. So close. Oh boy, these rounds, both these teams fighting tooth and nail, but it will be a tied score.
You can actually see the devastation in Izza's face as that final shot connects, and she's not able to clutch out that round despite how ridiculously close it gets on an eco. Great performance overall, but unfortunately just not enough. And the fact that this was a QSE that were building into an economy rather than a QSE that was slowly hemorrhaging funds, they're still fine into this round. After losing so many of those players, the reinvest is going to be just fine. And Kami is going to have AWP back in hand. And suddenly we're on a very dangerous ledge for FURIA. You can actually see how the pressure is onto them.
How often do you see FURIA with body language like that? I am loving what I'm seeing right now. And that's not bias. I want to see challenges for FURIA. And QSE is a rising challenge, which is what we want in this scenario. Push everybody to the limit. Force everyone to raise their game even further, to dig deeper. This is wonderful stuff. Both squads with a bye in round 23. Big pressure on FURIA to win this one. They've been quite deliberate with their pace on this T side. And often, the longer these rounds go, the more advantage they find, these top teams. Gab's catching Josie sleeping. Early 5v4 for FURIA. Somewhat light on utility, but they're just catching these CTs out of position as Lei will get traded by the overwhelming numbers of what remains for FURIA. Babs, though, she could really do with a second frag here, and she has support from Anna as well. 2 versus 3. Car somehow still alive, scoped in, but finally dropped. Now have a look at Lulitens coming in from that short position. A role reversal for the T's and the CTs. Lulitens coming through from short, dispatching of both. It's game point for FURIA.
The responses from FURIA there were fantastic. Car, being her usual aggressive, crazy self, kind of stuck it in mid, in no man's land, no real support. But as soon as she spots out that there's players coming towards her, it's instantly communicated across. Her teammates mobilize, know they're not there in time to save her, but they're able to perfectly orchestrate and play off of one another to secure themselves the round. And unfortunately, what was looking like overtime potential is now starting to look like a very close but undeniable FURIA victory. QSE going to need a little bit of a miracle into this round, because with so little to use, so little to back their plays, it's going to have to be perfection. And FURIA, you can see, are feeling it. They've slowed everything right down. They're waiting for a crazy play from QSE to take advantage of. They're waiting for one simple mistake that will propel them to that map win.
FURIA pushed to the limit on the first map of the series. I hope it'll be a long one. What we've seen so far of QSC, they've earned that, if you ask me. I don't know how they solve this puzzle, though. Versus a fully equipped... Oh, FURIA! Risks being taken. Look at the swing there from Josie. Nothing doing. Babs somehow finds 2. Is that enough? 3 on 3 is less than 20 HP. As soon as I say 3 on 3, there are more traits spotted but collected by FURIA in that mid position. And Lulaten's on the lurk here. Could be everything. QSC silently moving up short, but did they go for a big swing? No. There we go. Sound cues. Anna's in such a good position now. There might be a chance to have a bait play here. A bait and a switch. As there we go. Anna picks up the first one, and Lulaten's is in a 1 versus 2. Perfectly done by QSC, and they force overtime.
And there's that miracle play that we were looking for, that we were talking about. QSC, despite the inferior buy, have managed to give themselves just that little bit of breathing room and have secured themselves another round. And it has to be said, they're looking so much better on this map, because in week 1, they played against Atrix, and it was a 13-7 loss. Now, given that the other loss was on Mirage, and it was a... sorry, it was a 13-1 loss. I'm looking at the wrong map. 13-1 loss to Atrix, and yet here they are taking FURIA into overtime.
Huge for QSC. Just shows the potential, win or lose at this point. They've shown themselves what they can be capable of versus some of the best in the region, the very best. 5 on 4 for them, made 4 on 4 quickly by Gabs, who continues to find success in that position. Wow, it is an execution run for FURIA in the first round of overtime. 4 on 2. Not much for Cammy to do here. This challenge is surely too great. Just the numbers to potentially trade. There's too many people. Not enough cover in this scenario. And FURIA take the first one.
It's also worth mentioning that this is the first time since like day 1 that QSE are even playing Mirage. They had picked it previously. They lost it 13-1. Clearly, they lost a lot of confidence on it. They took it back to the drawing board. This is the first time that they have played and picked Mirage in a month. And the difference is night and day. And it really does go to show what a little bit of time in the server, a little bit of time watching those VODs can do for a team.
I think QSC had the early 5 on 4 in the previous round. Such a strong start to a round. It's so important for a CT squad as well. FURIA have kept getting frags from this Palace position, however, when there haven't been smokes up, but that re-smoke will thwart their plans. QSC with very aggressive positions in mid, and FURIA take nothing for granted. You can see them shift walking through T-spawn, which will really kill their time, but they know that if mid is compromised, they will concede their position, and that will be a problem. As we saw towards that B-bomb site that allowed QSC to set up a two-person base and switch to secure that round. And this is forcing FURIA to use util to just clear that mid position. QSC, though, these positions at a point of no return. That's a great transfer by Josie, but Gabs picks up both. 40 seconds remaining. Gabs spotted with the bomb. But where is Carr? Again, Palace has been so good for this squad. We see Cammy's got that. Oh, even now there's time to get the knife in, but Cammy will trade immediately, which leaves Gabs on an island. 22 HP. Do the CTs know she's taken damage? Anna, with that short position, she was firing with the M4, but it is silenced. Nice from Gabs. Does she understand what is left here? A plant for everywhere. Anna will close the distance. Oh, she's given her position away. And Gabs may get a free one here. Rounding triple. Look at the snap from Anna. That's a huge frag for QSC.
Holy, round and around we go. Neither one of these teams willing to give up any sort of an advantage. Another huge round for Josie, but for Gabs as well. Both of them putting in a lot of work into this round, but ultimately Anna X with the most ridiculous drive-by. I don't know how that hit. I'd love to have seen that from her perspective because I think that was just outrageous. But yes, another round for them. And we continue to keep this scoreline as even as possible. The relief is palpable for these ladies.
Nice. She makes it look easy.
Honestly.
You can see Cammy's position was really important as well. But we'll get to that later because the action will continue immediately and Cammy's going to be in some trouble here. I don't know if she escapes this position. The money goes a little low. Josie standing behind it. Look at the aggression now. QSE's turn to take over that mid area as Lulu10 is able to drop one, but it's Car who will lose the bomb towards top mid and the problems will continue for Furia, but they've got the AKs and they've got the talent to be able to frag out. But Josie, oh my word, be it a Deagle, be it the M4, she's gone nuclear on Mirage. Gabs now in a 1 versus 3. Josie's got 26 frags. Wow. Piping hot is Josie. That was a hell of a frag there. They understand how important this scenario is for them. They are doing so well. Lay just at a poor position there, showing too much flesh, and Gabs will find 1 for 3. There's a minute on the clock. This is winnable now for Gabs. See Josie shoulder peeking, but Anna's on the rotation, maybe expecting that bomb to be collected and Gabs to go back mid, but she's seen Josie jiggle. However, you may see Josie, but if Josie sees you first, she will drop another one, and she knows how important her performance is, heading towards the 30 bomb as they lead when they switch sides.
Well, I mean, she got back-to-back 3Ks in those 2 rounds. I mean, look, she wasn't quiet by any measure. She has been pretty good the whole way, but she continues and actually elevates as the rounds go on. She's just like getting better and better and better as this map continues. I mean, her performance has been lights out so far.
This is such a sick match. This is over, like QSE here have over delivered. I thought they had something in them, but I just wasn't sure what that was because again, they're on a journey and they are improving significantly and quickly. Furia, I think Furia and MIB are 2 of the strongest tests I think you can have for a team who are going through a growth spurt, and that can end up being stunted growth if you have the wrong game versus these squads. But even if they are not successful, there are so many good things that they can take from this game. I think they'll continue to improve regardless, but they've got themselves in a good spot to potentially close out this first game. It's one thing to have a close game though, versus like when you're a heavy underdog. It's another to finish the job, be it a game, be it a series. But even a game, to take one off of Furia is no easy task. It's a very tall order for QSE, even leading at halftime. There is more work to be done.
Just a quick update for anyone that was interested. The Killers busy playing the Brave Bears on one of our community streams, and the Killers did take map 1. Brave Bears have not been having the most success this season, so unfortunately it seems that streak may yet be continuing. Also, we have confirmation that Furia do not currently have a coach, which could be a factor, let's face it. Showing the growth that QSE have had, definitely feel like having a coach involved in, reworking their Mirage and getting them to a position where they feel more comfortable has certainly been a massive help.
Coaches are interesting. It's often a very ambiguous role with a team, because some coaches are purely cheerleaders. Some coaches, their main job is to pat people on the back, stop people arguing, make sure they get on planes. Some coaches are going to have tactical prowess, can read the game and offer something on the fly, or a perspective or an observation, and so on. So, it's a mixed bag. Yeah, it's a mixed bag. It's a complicated subject, coaches in Counter-Strike. I think it's all too rare to have that diamond in the rough coach who is you know, worth their spot. Yeah, I have a somewhat negative view on. I guess I think that some get too much credit. Like I know what a fair amount of the coaches are limited to doing. Although there are some which are very, very good. And you know, a different perspective, like a fresh pair of eyes. If your team and your strats are a bit, if your strats are a bit long in the tooth and you need a different perspective, then that can be worth its weight in gold. But if it's a pat on the back and whatever, then you know, just taking up air, oxygen thief.
Damn.
Basically. So two different perspectives, yeah. Someone's got to say it. I'm happy to do it. QSC 14 to the 13 of FURIA. They lead, but can they close? It's one thing to get a knockdown, but can you finish the job? Car with the AWP posted up on that CT side. I'd love to see if QSC can adapt. Look how ready FURIA are for these swings. Oh, great timing on that HE. And I talk about adaptation. Babs is going to find 3 in this mid area. This is wonderful. I don't even have time to get the whole sentence out because QSC are doing such a good job in this mid position. Let's not forget what that looks like earlier on. Look at this angle from Babs, who's going to find yet another frag, a 4K in that round. And this is what I was talking about. Game point for QSC, but look at how those swings went from FURIA at the beginning of the round. They swung, they deleted QSC. QSC understand what's coming. That the HE timing, just welcoming them into that mid position. The flank as well. They've adapted to the data they saw earlier on and punished FURIA and put themselves at game point. That is what you want to see from an up-and-coming team. That is awesome stuff. Sorry I didn't let you talk, but we're into the next round now. As that was a big swing from Cammy, who doesn't get much from it. Big urgency on ramp. I think the bomb, oh, it will have been spotted as well. Is that going to be a rotation from FURIA as we see one player in sandwich for the T's and huge fights, flashes all over the shop. Josie can't see and can't frag, and FURIA are trying to hold on to what remains of this game of Mirage. This is chaos. The bomb just about still in the hands of Cammy. 13 HP in a 3-on-4 as they start to slow down, but Gabs has pushed ramp already. They know where QSC aren't. And they've got a forward position. There's very little chance that FURIA lose this round. They are not done with this just yet. Lulitens is all but guaranteed a frag in this spot, but Anna is ready for it. They've seen the bomb, but who cares? We've got 2 CT swinging into the bomb site, and Babs coming in from short, but QSC almost can't be stopped. 2-on-2, they're both... Okay, Cammy's very, very low indeed, but Babs is doing God's work on this bomb site in these rounds. They have burst through that glass ceiling, QSC, and they are on the cusp of victory. But can Gabs find where both these players are? Coming through from the apartments now. And it's Babs, who got a 4K, looking for a 3K. No fear from her. Babs and Gabs. Gabs with 32 HP. Gabs only 2 bullets or a headshot, but it will be Gabs to do that and keep FURIA alive. Wow, this game is tense.
Oh, recovery in that round was crazy. And there were a few moments where it felt like maybe FURIA were losing their discipline a little bit, getting a little bit over eager, perhaps getting in their own heads. You know, you have that moment of, come on, guys, we should be winning this. I need to make a play. You know, you get into that mindset of somebody's got to make a play. We've got to somehow bring this back. And then silly things start happening. But huge clutch at the end of the round from Gabs. I wasn't sure she was going to get that second one. It was looking very precarious, very touch and go. 1 round away from a second overtime.
What a game. How can you not be a fan of QSC? If you were unfamiliar with them before, you have to respect what they are doing. However, as we said before, it's one thing to take FURIA to the limit. But can you push past? Such a great round from them previously. This time they've got 2 players in the other part swinging together, and they will be dealt with. Cammy trying to trade, but the numbers are here for FURIA. If there was a little gap, I think, between, or even a bait plate between those 2 T players, then maybe we see a different scenario here. But as QSC adapted to those mid swings from FURIA, FURIA will adapt straight back, lightning quick as well. They were looking for that player in the underpass and found a second, dealt with both. That leaves Lei in the clutch. She's had a really rough game so far. Again, starting 0 for 5. Josie doing the heavy lifting for the squad. Babs as well. They know exactly where she is now. 40 seconds. She's got to retrieve the bomb. By the time she makes it to a bomb site, she's going to have no time to clear it. If she somehow makes her way towards A, and maybe Kara at that point will be in a more forward position, but I don't think they're concerned with the bomb plant here for FURIA. It looks like they're playing it safe. They need to secure the round. And again, this is taking way too much time. 22 seconds. She's got to make a play towards A. Of course, she doesn't know that, but that is her only chance for victory. As we get to a sub 10 seconds, Kara will be invited to peek the site because she can't even fake a bomb plant here. She's got to commit to it. There's the Molotov for default, planting for short, and Lulitens is there to greet her. Again, there was no good scenario there for what remained of QSE, and the game continues.
It was a good read from FURIA as well. And I use the term read lightly. QSE have a lot of favor towards mid. It's been a lot of their rounds where they just have their full, maybe not full 5, but a very large contingency of their players heading in towards mid. So FURIA realizing, okay, this is probably going to be another one of those rounds. We're going to do what we did before. We're just going to fight back, push back, take mid control, and disallow them that space. And it's another round in the bag for FURIA. And yes, a second overtime, we go again.
Yeah, there's still time for Cammy and Lei to get into this one more. Cammy's got some important frags. There is another one for her. But again, it's Josie, Anna, and Babs who are putting up the big numbers for QSE. Josie is having a game of her life at the moment. 29 rounds on the board as Gabs tries to find something on this A bomb site. 2 FURIA plays around connector. Lulitens trying to creep. QSE have got very strong positions. Oh, that was nasty from Lei. And she finds another as well. Talk about impact frags. Lulitens versus 4, and she will be deleted. And that's Josie with the 30 bomb. Congratulations. QSE take the first.
I'm still blown away at how good QSE are looking on Mirage at the moment. That they continue to just go toe to toe. Look, a lot of this is obviously coming down to Josie, who has now hit that 30 bomb. She's been such a thorn in FURIA's side for so many of these rounds. But that being said, it's not just a frag game, because when you're talking purely on the number of frags, FURIA are winning by a mile. But QSE have managed to turn those kills into round wins.
So map control established at the very least. Loads of util for QSE. Now, what is their read? We haven't seen, well, I'm not sure that we've seen the big swing from FURIA just yet. I was focused on the action on the B bomb site, so if it happened, I may have missed it. What did QSE choose to do now? This is such a fascinating challenge. When you get into multiple overtimes and you've got a heavy underdog squad, the question of how deep you can dig, how you can call on the fly, how you can read the game, identify habits and punish them becomes an even greater question. Again, we saw adaptation in mid, but what if they got left in the tank? Lei has to jump out first as a low health player, but what is behind her? Flashes, and Josie will drop Izza. She'll be traded. They know where Lulitens is, but they may not be making their way into this bomb site fast enough, or are they? Lulitens wins that duel. Will they be ready for Bazina at the back of the site? The numbers are here to keep the trades going. Now they've got some map control. 25 seconds on the clock. Does Anna swing this angle? She does. She catches one. She knows exactly where the other one is. Spots car, but you've got to be careful. Work on this one together. You've got to swing together. Might be awkward, though. Orp and the AK. Cammy holding an off angle. Moving back and forth. There is some variance here as Car fishes. Almost, but not quite. A swing and a miss there, and Anna will punish her for that one. 2 for 2 are QSE.
Oh, this is getting dangerous for FURIA. They're straddling the line here. Potentially could be losing the first map in this series. Reminder, this is still the first map in this series. I think we could be in for the long haul, folks. So Strap in. QSE not ready to let their hopes and dreams die just yet. And a win over FURIA here could put some serious upset into the table results going forward. We'll see if they can get through this first map. They're already so close to making that happen.
Look at this send into the A bomb site. What does it mean, though? If you've been invited to take such map control, what does it mean? Are you falling into a trap? Looks like it. There was double AWP for a moment from FURIA, but we see Gabs with the FAMAS. That will be enough for FURIA to take a round at halftime and keep it close. This is wild, and I am loving every moment of what we have seen so far.
I'll admit I'm a little bit disappointed at how easily QSE fell into that trap. It really was, you know, step into my lair, said the spider to the fly. And the fly just went, all right, sweet. We will take that. And Car, ready and waiting, opens it up with the first couple of kills. The rest of her team is there to clean it up. Stunning recovery, but still at a 1-round deficit and still very much in recovery mode. Constantly. They're what's the word? They're triaging at this point. They're not in control at all. And that's not a FURIA that we're used to seeing.
That was such a great call from FURIA. The T swinging, just expecting to see someone. But anyway, have a look at this. Bezina almost on a 30 bomb of her own. Early 5v4 for FURIA. Very good stats to close out the round when you get that first pick. And if anybody can deliver, it will be FURIA. AKs are out. Good timing on the HE. I don't know what else they can offer towards that short position. Ana sees so much. Does she go back to the well? The flash is up, but she needs to stay alive. That's so much information for the squad. She must stay alive. She could maybe rotate out of Palace, but the sheer idea that she might be there compromises how FURIA approach this bomb site. Babs will be very important for them, making her way towards Connector, but Babs is still lurking as well. That'll be a very important duel. Cammy with the AWP, wondering if there's a flank coming in towards B. She needs to post up on ramp and quickly. Moving towards triple. She goes down for free. Oh dear, that's going to be the dream collapsing unless Ana has the round of her life. So many people coming her way. She's got time for the relay. Look at the swing though. If Babs can get into Connector in time, maybe it's something to be done here. Ana was delaying for as long as possible and they haven't crossed just yet. Here comes the flash and Babs drops the bomb. 30 seconds. She's got 8 rounds in the magazine. They both face at the same time and these rounds are going down to the wire. And Cammy was holding down multiple jobs in that CT position. She had 2 players, 1 Palace, 1 Shadow. They didn't really have complete information on the ramp, so I thought maybe she'd post up on that, but she swings towards triple, maybe to have a more aggressive position with her teammate or maybe support Babs, who I think was on short there, but she gets picked off and then FURIA are able to close it out and tie the score 17 apiece.
I loved what Ana X did there at the start of the round, and I wanted to see more of that throughout the map. It's just a pity that stabilization towards the mid to late round was not where it needed to be, and they could not control or maintain that control.
We've got a big send into the B bomb site from FURIA. Bezina is behind enemy lines, to put it mildly, just charging through and trying to clean things out. Now, can Ana delay again? No, sprayed through the smoke. You can see them desperately trying to get there in time, but they just run to their demise, and FURIA have really picked up the pace, not allowing QSC to make plays on their CT side, charging into B, taking control of the round, and suddenly it is them who find themselves at game point.
And this is scary because it feels like perhaps FURIA were starting to get into their own heads a little bit, but over the course of the last couple of rounds, they've pulled themselves towards themselves. They're showing their confidence again. They're taking that aggressive spacing. They're doing that, you know, we're just better mentality, and they're taking those fights to QSE and they're winning them. Now, QSE lost chance to take us into a third overtime. A loss here would put them down a map in the series, their own map pick, and after fighting so hard to stay in this, that would be such devastation.
Safety in numbers for FURIA. Anna rotating over towards CT. Now, no one's in a real position to flash for these CT players to try and make a play. And they will be traded on that A bomb site. There is the last flash come and gone, but it's all too late as Carl delivers a huge frag in CT. There's no one in that short position. If so, they could have thrown some flashes towards that bench to allow their teammates to face. So awkward for QSE. And it looks like it will be the end of the line. They took FURIA to the line. Cammy in the clutch, but look at these angles. They don't even need to peek. They can just play the bomb. She doesn't have a kiss on her either. It's been a very difficult half in overtime, and Kai will be the one to finish off the job. FURIA taken to the limit, but not broken. They bend, they do not break. They are 1-0 in the series.
And you can see, like, there's more relief than there is, you know, overt celebration. Of course they're excited, of course they're happy, but
deep they can dig. I've done that before, the wrong way around. Almost did it again. But, you know, and another question is, how crucial was that map win to QSE? You could see how much work they did in that. Were they thinking that they had to win this series in 3? Is in this series Ancient the hardest one for them to win? There are a lot of questions which we don't have the answers to, but we'll have to bear witness. And again, I think part of that is where QSE are in their journey, where they're going to be better than we've seen, but we don't know how far they can go versus FURIA from map to map. So all to discover as far as we are concerned. Is very quick with those dualies, but there is position and some good flashes here as well for this T side as it continues to deliver though, and Gabs is going to do what she can, also leaving it, making it a 1 versus 1. Does she commit to the bomb plant here? Gabs, will she creep through the smoke? It is a coin flip that she chooses not to take, but as the smoke dissipates, she will be deleted by none other than Josie, who finds 3 in the pistol. We asked if she could continue. It seems the answer is yes.
I'm going to go ahead and ask our stat man Newt if he can let me know how many multi-kills Josie has had so far this season. Very specifically 3+ if possible, because I feel like it's a really dumb number. She's doing incredibly well. And QSE are now 3 for 3 on pistols. So far, so good for coming into the second map here. 4 Mac 10s and a Galil. They want to crack this open with as little resistance as humanly possible.
Clean eco. Long game of Ancient to come. QSE remain focused, it seems. Oops. There's no one there. Now, this is an interesting scenario for FURIA, even with these USPs, because ideally you don't want to die to a Mac 10. There are quite a few lurking around, so it's not as simple as it looks. There is a question of, okay, they're just fragging everybody, it seems. So it looks like they're going to answer my question before I can ask it in, do you want to feed the Mac 10s or do you want to try and play for some exits? Because again, you don't want a T side with loads of money where you need to win not 1 but 2 rounds in a row to stand a chance of doing something. So sometimes you see the USPs hiding somewhere, just not wanting to give up the bonus money, but FURIA are FURIA, so they'll just go and frag almost everybody on the server, even with just the USPs.
Pretty much how we expected that round to end at the very least. But forcing a bit of a reinvest here definitely bodes well for our FURIA ladies, making sure that it's not going to be an easy road to victory, should that be the road that QSE find themselves on. Ooh, Car with a round 3 AWP. It's not even glass cannon. That last round was so important for building up the money for this.
Big swing. Wow. Not every day you see the Mac 10 out dueling the M4, but the drive-by, that's what the Mac 10s are for. CTs have to be careful here because the Ts are on the way and there will be trades, and more than that, that is a huge problem for FURIA. And they had to know, especially after losing their player in mid, that there was a fair chance that something like that was going to happen. But they felt the urgency to go after that player towards T-spawn, and they were punished for doing so. Again, Lei stayed alive long enough to allow her teammates to checkmate FURIA in round 3, essentially, and keep them on the back foot with no rounds to their name just yet. So far, so good for QSE.
Great mid push, great early control, stomping out that aggressive push from FURIA very, very early on. And that's something that you want to be doing. You know that FURIA like to take that space, so don't allow them to do that. To FURIA's credit, they are going to be able to hold on to that AWP that they'd invested into. And that's really important because losing that now would be really rough for that long-term economy. And of course, it's going to make it that little bit more doable to come back into the next round with something that you can actually fight back with. But we might need to see some changes into how they're approaching things because so far QSE, now I don't want to count my chickens just yet because this is exactly how Mirage started. 3 rounds in a row and suddenly FURIA clapped back. So we'll give it a sec. But with this save, I think that there's a very good chance that we could see FURIA turn the tides.
Have a look at this. I love this from QSE. Please keep holding W. Perhaps expecting FURIA to show some dominance in the mid position. They go straight into the A-bomb site. No stopping. They've got FURIA on the back foot, figuratively and literally. Retake scenario, though. Lei just about gets the bomb plant, but it costs her everything. FURIA fighting. They are angry in round 4. QSC have got to find some frags before they run out of people holding guns. 2 on 5 for them. Despite those great inroads into the bomb site, they have little to show for it. All but guaranteed to lose this round. So much utility. Oh, Josie gets her bell rung by the FAMAS, and they know exactly where Babs is. Despite that send into the A bomb site, not a single frag. I think this is the right choice for Babs to hold on to her AK-47. We see Josie's only got 2K. So it was a really good read. Being a step ahead of your opponent like that can be so strong. But once they were on the bomb site with no frags, didn't bode so well for them in the end.
Kind of what we were hinting at, I suppose. I say hinting. I was being pretty obvious. Yeah, FURIA, round 4, momentum shifter. Despite slight weapon disadvantage, still making that round work. Great adaptations. Now we could see the signs of a redo of Mirage.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Security coming back. This is, you know, the North American match yesterday was very, very violent. A lot of the rounds were very, very quick. Speaking of quick, Car goes back for another one.
Oh, what?
Just when you thought it was safe for QSC to win a round, Car is puncturing people's chests one after the other. Let the bodies hit the floor, as the old frag videos will say. My word, she might not be done yet either. They move together now. They've got 1 minute. Do they go for a bomb plant? Oh, she's running into the bomb site, bomb in hand. They have the time to clear the bomb site. They obviously had a read as to where these 2 CTs were. That read was wrong. 45 seconds now. Josie's up close. Josie in the clutch again. So low with the bullets, but Car with the no-scope will finish off the job. A massive 3K. She forced her team's way back into that round. Wow.
I thought she was dead. I thought she was done. Like, that, in my mind, that was a Josie clutch. Undeniably. With, like, literally 0 kickback. And yet, the most nasty no-scope. I don't know how she does that, but it's exactly what FURIA needed to bring back a round that was slipping through their fingertips, that started off well. I mean, they took mid-control, they got in behind QSE, and QSE just went, hang on, there's someone behind us? And suddenly that entire round almost turned into a complete disaster.
That could have been such a big round for QSE, but the sheer will of FURIA is something to behold in this series.
All right, so I got my stats for Josie, and they're kind of nasty. She has over 180 rounds played. 36 of them were multi-kills from her. 8 of those 36 were triple kills. That is in 1 in 5 rounds, she's getting a multi-frag.
Yeah,
that to me is just absurd.
That is picking up the slack and then some. What a great time to do it as well. Again, not everybody was running red hot for the squad, so that's a perfect time to come alive. Really well done. But if you can have a play like that where you can put them in a position to deliver and they overperform, because you can't ask that of any player. But to be able to overperform like that on a map when you need it as well is wonderful. A statement game for Josie, but that is in the past. The ink is dry on Mirage. Score is tied early. Now, on Mirage, after winning the pistol and the consecutive rounds, FURIA did start to fight back, and we did wonder if QSE could secure some more rounds, and they certainly did that. The same question rises now in Ancient. Opportunities missed thanks to Kart and the work she did with that AWP. Double donut setup, and they can hear these players on long. That will allow Kart to rotate that AWP over. They need to secure this choke point without losing plays, but they don't have the utility to do it, which is going to give Kar free reign, and her teammates can play off of her and secure this bomb site. Bazina dropped, but Kar's just got angles for days. Leia looking for lurkers in mid. That leaves Anna alone on the bomb site with a minute on the clock, and she is just going to run to her demise. Just didn't have the utility to secure the angles, and you're not going to survive versus Kar if you can't smoke her off.
She's actually just unfair. And the fact that she's so dynamic as well, she'll get a kill here, run over there, get another one. All right, let me just reposition, get another kill. Never in the same place for longer than a microcosm of a second. And then she's on the move. Even if she doesn't get that shot, right? You reposition. Don't let them know that you're there. Always keep them guessing. She's the only one that really knows what's happening. And she uses that to great effect.
Oh, this is going to be a shooting gallery. This might be a brief one if they continue the push. Warm-up rounds for FURIA. Great use of utility. A fast seeker round is a good one. FURIA moved to 5. There is money for QSE, and now the question is, can they stop the wheels from turning for FURIA and start to fight back? Keep the score close. That is the challenge for QSE now. Going to be hard to get.
Sorry. Just if we're continue. Go ahead, James.
You.
Okay, I'll take it. Just, if we were going to continue the parallels, it was at round 7, or rather when FURIA hit 6, that QSE started coming back. So we get one more round potentially of QSE struggling, and then double OT.
Did Babs hear some footsteps? She did. Now, okay. So she'll let Izza know that she knows where she is. I was wondering if she might make a play through the smoke and head towards the bomb site, because there may have been a greater play to be made there, just allowing the CT to lurk in that position. I mean, arguably that still could be done with Cammy near the ramp. Oh, dear me. Now, will Izza be ready for the trade? Because there's one more around the corner. Car will be deleted, and Lulu Tens will find herself as the only one standing. The bomb needs to be collected, however. Lulu Tens heading towards that mid position. She may be heard by Anna as she heads towards A. That's free information for the T side at a crucial time. Bomb is secured. Now Anna can hold rotation. See what Lulu Tens chooses to do. 1 versus 3. Does she hide to try and rescue an AWP or hold on to the AK? Seems it will be the latter. QSC rising to the occasion in many small scenarios. Again, to some degree, it's the mirror of the first game where FURIA lose the pistol in a consecutive rounds and start to rise and QSC start to fight back. And we need that. We want to see a competitive game of Ancient. And it looks like that's what we're going to get.
I like the recovery as well, and I like the adaptation to how FURIA are playing, because we know that Ancient Mid is such an important pivot point. So for QSE to kind of give up a lot of that space early on, you've got one player, maybe two, not getting overly aggressive, knowing that FURIA are going to try to take that space. So you just kind of hold the line a little bit, you fight it back, and you stem that tide. And if you win the mid battle, if you win that battle of attrition, you have map control, you have information, and everything is kind of in your back pocket. And that's what QSC are really leaning into here. So that was a very important round for them to win. Let's see if they can string that along. Another win here would set them up to potentially take a lead at the half.
Denial of information is important. Again, look at the answer from FURIA. In these mid positions, they are keen for the info. Anna's still lurking though, but Josie's going to get caught with a grenade in her hand. I don't think they had any idea of the CT to the right-hand side of mid from the T perspective. That's going to give FURIA 2 frags. And their re-aggressions in mids, be it Mirage or Ancient, are so fruitful for them. I think these kind of plays in mid will just shut down so many rounds for them. They've got to be more than 70% when a scenario like this happens. Because at this point, you've got to find 2. You can't just get that 1 frag and be traded. Lula10s with 2 quick frags, leaving Cammy in a 1 versus 3. And again, the numbers are too great after that re-aggression in mid. It just gives them such a numbers advantage, FURIA. That is a big strong points of their CT size.
Yeah, I mean, talking about adaptation, and you see them come into this round and they decide, okay, we're not going to take heavy aggressive mid presence like we have before. Instead, we're going to kind of slow it down, see if QSE get aggressive, if we can try to bait them out a little bit. They contact up a bit more. They catch those first 2 players relatively unawares. One caught with util out, the other just kind of caught out in the open, and it's a round win.
Cammy able to escape. Awkward duel. No flashes for the T side to speak of. They can't re-aggress from the other side of mid either. There's the flash and the swing. They'll start to force the issue now. This is quite the fight. But Gabs and Izza, well, that smoke on the other side of mid is going to disappear soon. Bizina will try to cover the angle as we see Anna lurking. It'll be first blood for FURIA then, who drop late. Babs will fall for free. Again, they don't have the angles to consider these options, and FURIA are growing in strength on the CT side of Ancient, it feels like. Outmaneuvering with deeper ideas than QSC thus far. Gab's looking for something outrageous. She will be denied, but that's the last 2 players spotted. That's so much information, rich information for FURIA. And look at the aggressive positions they take in response. Seizing map control from QSE, who are likely to lose everything in what remains of this round. You've got to run past that angle. It is way too strong for the CT on the other side. Anna now doing what she can, but again, the numbers are too great for FURIA towards the end of the round.
And I think what makes that so scary is, like, what do you do at this point if you're QSE, right? You were banking on FURIA consistently taking heavy mid control and then being able to fight that back. Now FURIA changed things up a little bit. They haven't abandoned mid. It's not like they don't have presence there and they're not doing anything, but they are taking a far more loose hold with it. So, you know, once you bait QSE out into the open, get that opening kill, and then you can take that mid space, what does QSE do at that point?
stronghold again. And the T's are split from A to B. Car is posted up, and again, she can play off of her teammates if she needs to. So many repositions here. So strong. Lei chasing with the bomb, which has now been lost. That is not a winning solution versus Car, who can reset angle after angle after angle. That is a problem they've got to find better solutions for. Can't give Car free frags like that because she will take them. 11 for 2 now is Car, abusing QSE. Now we start to see some holes that they may not have the time to plug in this game of Ancient, at least on the T side. What is there left for Babs to do? 150 in the bank. FURIA giving nothing for free. Feels like they may pull away. Well, they have pulled away already. Babs has to go for it. And it's Car to collect. Another 3K in that round. 8-4 at halftime. FURIA firmly in control on Ancient.
That's how we like it. That's how it goes. Come on now, baby, let me ease your soul. That's how we live life. Live it up to the top. 'Cause once we start, you know we're never gonna stop. We own it. We're winning every time. We own it. Pushing every day and night. We own it. We don't do compromise. Yeah, yeah. We touch down every time. Every time. We touch down every time. This is our time, hit it up with the rebound. This is our turn to see. Gonna put you back, anybody in the league, gonna stand in front of me. Oh, no, no. This is our turn to see. Gonna put you back, anybody in the league, gonna stand in front of me. We own it. We're winning every time. We own it. Pushing every day and night. We own it. We don't do compromise. Yeah, yeah. We touch down every time. Every time. We own it. Every time. We're winning every time. Win it. We own it. We're winning every time. We own it. That's how we like it. That's how it goes. Come on now, baby, let me ease your soul. That's how we live life. Live it up to the top. 'Cause once we start, you know we're never gonna stop. We own it. We're winning every time. We own it. Pushing every day and night. We own it. We don't do compromise. Yeah, yeah. We touch down every time. Every time. We touch down every time. This is our time, hit it up with the rebound. This is our turn to see. Gonna put you back, anybody in the league, gonna stand in front of me. Oh, no, no. This is our turn to see. Gonna put you back, anybody in the league, gonna stand in front of me. We own it. We're winning every time. We own it. Pushing.
Well, unfortunately, the second map not quite as close as the first so far, but Still a lot of room here for QSE to make some magic happen. 3 for 3 on pistols. Can they make it a 4th?
FURIA gliding into the A-bomb site. There's a smoke and a defuse kit for retake util. This will be a difficult one. Look where that bomb's planted as well. How will they even get that far? Okay, Anna's about to show us how it looks like. We've spotted wherever a few of these players are. Now, with that second frag, they surely have angles for that bomb. Indeed, they do. We might see a knife fight in that smoke, I think, as the T's will try to close the distance. There is the blade, and Lei will get knifed immediately. Lula tends... Oh, this is just absolutely chaos. Another one. Car's got to have an AWP quickly. Babs is just escaping the situation. There is a kit on the floor. Well, then. That was chaos. That
was kind of nuts.
Once those first 2 frags came in, I thought, all right, the smoke's going to go down. But, I mean, that ended up playing to FURIA's advantage after losing a few players. And interestingly, if they'd put a smoke down on the choke point, then who knows what might have happened there.
Yeah. Well, that'll be FURIA snatching away that 4th pistol round. Not gonna... to be fair, when it comes to the actual pistol kills... I feel like QSE are absolute demons. I mean, they play that so well. Their aim is so crisp. But for FURIA, it's the sightline denial that completely decimates any hope QSE had of recovering that round. And as you said, the knives come out, swing and a miss. And FURIA got up to 9. It was an important one for QSE to win. Losing that one puts them in a bit of a tight spot.
Yeah, that was... Like, if the smoke... Yeah, I mean, hindsight's 2020. If the smoke goes towards... long A or something, then who knows? But I mean, there was way more success than I expected with those knives. It was crazy. A high variant scenario, and QSE ate that variance. They've lost position, and they are not going to throw the good money after the bad, as I like to say. They have got plenty to hold on to here, and they will be hunted for as Yab somehow avoids the bait for the time being, but she does not have the HP to survive. That Galil will be a nice pickup for Lei, who should escape. She had a dire T-half with, at best, 2 frags to speak of. Sometimes the last woman standing in a difficult round. But maybe things can be better on the CT side. They're running out of rounds to lose, though, as FURIA are on 10 already.
Yeah, unfortunately, 2 more rounds were on map and series point, and QSE just have no real way of coming back into this. Probably worth mentioning, you know, Bazina, who had a lights-out game on the first map, having a much quieter game this time around, but it's really allowed someone like Carr, particularly on that CT side, to come alive in a phenomenal fashion. On the other side, however, Josie still really doing everything she can alongside Anna X to keep them alive in this. Oh.
Nice. Oh, that timing. Lilitanes is going to get the second one. Will she expect a third, though? Cammy just around the corner. We'll be able to hold on to something for the time being. We've got lurkers in mid for both squads. Molly's all over the shop. Rifles to be collected on the ramp if Cammy dare go. And she will. Doesn't continue down the ramp, though, so they don't have the information. They're wandering towards that A-bomb site as Anna will deliver. She's so good at delaying, and she'll do even more than that. 2 frags with the 5-7, leaving Carr in a 1 versus 2. Time to clutch again for Carr. Heading back towards B. Very gingerly, very carefully. How much area can QSE clear? If they go through Donut, maybe a second rifle is to be collected from Babs. With 50 HP, who knows if the MP9 may serve her better. Carr should be good for a bomb plant here. Moving together are QSE. Babs will go in first as the low health space creator with that MP9. Carr looking for a frag if she can find it. This timing. Oh, they're going back towards A. They're going in a big circle. They don't have a kit either. 16 seconds. They're going to get their skates on towards that B bomb site. Carr sees no one. She's being real careful about this. quite noticeable for Car using the time to look for any CTs who may be holding an off angle for a bomb plant. Really important stuff there that you don't always see. Collecting a bit more utility. Does she have a molly for this bomb? That smoke will concede her position. There is no kit for these players, though. There goes the molly. But it doesn't land. It doesn't land. She's got a rundown. She's conceded position to Babs, who stays with that MP9. That is unfortunate for Car. I would have liked to have seen that molly land just to see how it would play out, but it doesn't happen for her. And that is exactly what QSE needed. They are on the ropes, even with that round win. But again, you've got to focus on the round in front of you.
You can see Kami's feeling good about that one. And as you said, I think if you're in that mentality, then you allow yourself to celebrate that victory. As much as there's still a mountain to climb, you took a step. And every little bit is going to help you get closer and closer. Valiant attempt by Car, managing to get that bomb down. Going for the post-plant. Molly play, unfortunately, just does not pay off. But she gets that extra bit of cash, and they need it.
Gabs. Fuck, she's going to be a problem in this half. Quite one for Bazina so far. Maybe Gabs is the one who will lead the charge in this T half. Got some catching up to do with Izza, but there's another frag for her as she moves to 13. 5-on-3. This round is over for QSE. They can't afford to lose much more, but again, Bazina is keen for more frags. And she'll get at least one. These players may be hounded as well. They're holding on to 2 AKs for now. Going to reposition, completely change where they were last seen, heading towards T-spawn. FURIA heading towards 11 rounds. A blip on their path with that round from QSE. But it seems that the pressure will not subside for long.
That's unfortunate. For QSE to be able to get another round here, turn that into some momentum, break FURIA's economy. Like, there was so much kind of hinging on this round for them. And unfortunately, I don't know if they're going to have too many more opportunities in this half. FURIA now up to 11. Their money's in a bit of a tight spot here. Okay, Kami is still good. She can buy into an AWP if she wants to in the next round, but they might just have to spread the funds a little bit here. Do you go for the... I mean, it wouldn't be selfish if it's a team decision, but do you go for the... I guess they do.
That's unfortunate. Babs, the rifle is lost towards the end. However, it looks like their buy will be reasonable. Is there something on the floor for Josie? We'll find out in a sec. Again, the lurking in mid, if you can call it that, is quite fruitful for FURIA. Gabs proving to be a problem on this T side, and this is a great way to break a buy, sending it into the bomb site. Safety in numbers. As long as you trade and take space, then it is so favorable for you on that T side. And when you've got your opponent on the ropes, when you're close to that match point, this is what you want to do. The trades continue as FURIA hold. They don't need to plant the bomb anytime soon. They can just wait for these plays to come in and try to control the scenario. Oh, Babs. 1 for 1, go FURIA. Bomb getting planted now as Anna repositions. Smokes is still up though. So nerve-wracking for QSE here. Anna with 9 HP is the one carrying the kit. If she is to fall, they need to communicate that. Should it be required later? These smokes though will kill some time. Last one thrown by the CTs, I think, but again, with such low health, oh, that's going to be a wrap, surely. Anna caught with a grenade in her hand as the smoke is dissipating. Short on ideas there are QSE, and FURIA find themselves at match point.
This is where desperation may start to set in. 5 MP9s is what you now go to battle with. Your last chance to snag a map off of FURIA and take us into map 3. And when I say last chance, I mean the 7 of them, back to back to back. I don't think that they're going to be allowed that opportunity now as FURIA look to close this out in a fairly clean 2-0.
I'm not sure if I've seen a round ever with 5 MP9s on the CT side, but we're certainly witnessing that here. Make it 4 now. If you're not counting the one on the floor. Good map control by FURIA. Gab's lurking. Won't win her duel, but again, the numbers are too great. Asking too much of QSE with these MP9s to find fruit here. Flashes come through. Running out of bullets, though, is that they're both running out of bullets. Blades coming out of pistols. So awkward. Death by paper cuts for QSE, it may seem. And then it was Josie. Miracle workup for QSE on Mirage. Making her way through with a flash. Instantly traded, and FURIA will secure a prompt victory on the second map of the series.
A much more, I won't say one-sided, but it certainly wasn't anywhere as close as what we had on our